The salvage beacon had been pinging for 3 days before anyone bothered to check it. Most crews ignored signals from the scattered belt. Too much debris, too many false readings, too much risk for too little reward. But Orin needed this job. His ship, the Prophet's Edge, was 2 payments behind on docking fees, and his crew was getting restless. Pull up the signature again? Orin clicked his mandibles together, a nervous habit his species developed when stressed. His 6 eyes focused on the holographic display floating above the command console. Pella swam closer in her hydration suit, her translucent fins rippling with concern. "Captain, that classification code doesn't make sense. My scanner must be malfunctioning." "Let me see." Roth's scales scraped against his chair as he leaned forward. The reptilian engineer had seen more salvage jobs than anyone else on the crew, and his experience showed in the way his pupils narrowed. "By the ancestors, that's a Class 15 designation." The bridge went silent. Even Lina, the young Mendar who usually chattered constantly, stopped calibrating her instruments. Orin felt his blood chill. "That's impossible. Class 15 worlds are quarantined. Nothing from those death traps should be out here." "The vessel is enormous," Pella said, manipulating the scanner data with movements of her webbed fingers. 4 kilometers long, maybe more. The hull composition is reading as unknown alloys. Our beams can barely penetrate the outer layers. "Power signatures?" Orin asked. "Faint but present. Something is still active inside after centuries of drift." Pella paused. "There are warning buoys around it, 12 of them arranged in a perfect sphere." Roth pulled up the buoy data. "The language is completely foreign, not in any galactic database." Lina's voice trembled slightly. "Should we report this to the Galactic Salvage Authority?" "And let them claim it?" Orin's mandibles clicked faster. "Finders keepers, that's the law. If we can prove it's abandoned, it's ours. Do you know how much a Class 15 vessel would sell for? We'd never have to work again. We'd also never have to breathe again if whatever killed that crew is still aboard," Roth muttered. Orin made his decision. "We dock, we survey. If it looks dangerous, we leave and report it. If it looks salvageable, we stake our claim before anyone else arrives." The Prophet's Edge approached slowly. Up close, the derelict vessel was even more imposing. Its hull was scarred with deep gouges and impact craters, but the damage looked old. Whatever battle it had survived was long over. "Those aren't weapon marks," Roth said, studying the scars. "Those are from high-velocity impacts, meteorites maybe, or debris strikes." "Look at the repair work," Pella added. "Someone fixed these breaches from the inside. See how the metal is fused? That's emergency welding done while the ship was still losing atmosphere." "Whoever built this didn't give up easily," Lina said quietly. They docked at what appeared to be a loading bay. The airlock was massive, designed for beings much larger than any of them. It took Roth 20 minutes to bypass the access codes, and when the door finally opened, stale air hissed out. "Atmospheric reading," Orin commanded. Pella checked her scanner. 21% oxygen, that's toxic levels for prolonged exposure. Nitrogen is 78%. Temperature is 290 Kelvin. "That's almost hot enough to cook hurricane eggs," Roth complained. "The gravity is reading 1.2 standard," Lina added. "We'll need support harnesses." They suited up and entered. The interior corridors were wide and tall, built for beings who stood at least 2 meters high. Emergency lighting flickered along the walls, casting strange shadows. "Power grid is partially functional," Roth observed. "Life support is active in some sections. Environmental controls are trying to maintain atmosphere and temperature." "For whom?" Pella wondered. "If the crew is dead, why would automated systems still be running?" They found the first signs of habitation in what appeared to be a common area. Tables and chairs, sized for large bipedal creatures. Food dispensers lined one wall. A viewing screen showed star charts with annotations in the unknown language. "They had a crew," Lina said, touching a personal item left on a table. It looked like an entertainment device of some kind. "They lived here, worked here, maybe had families." "Look at this," Roth called from across the room. He had found a weapons locker. The door was sealed but not locked. Inside were tools designed for combat. They knew they might have to fight. Oren examined the weapons. They were kinetic, not energy-based, primitive by galactic standards but well-maintained. Chemical propellant projectile weapons, haven't seen these in active use for generations. They moved deeper into the ship. The evidence of battle became clearer. Scorch marks on walls, sealed bulkheads, emergency patch jobs on hull breaches. Someone had fought hard to keep this vessel intact. "Captain," Pella's voice was urgent. "I found the ship's identification. It's etched into a bulkhead here. I think I can translate some of it." They gathered around. The letters were large and clear, UESC Tenacity. "United Earth Space Command," Pella read slowly. "Earth, that's what they call their world." "Never heard of it," Roth said. "Neither has anyone in the galactic community," Oren replied. "Search the database, every known species, every registered world." Lina worked quickly. "Nothing, no Earth, no humans, no UESC in any records." "That's impossible," Pella said. "A species advanced enough to build this doesn't just appear from nowhere." "Unless they never joined the galactic community," Oren said slowly. "Unless they've been out here alone building ships like this without anyone knowing." They found the ship's log room an hour later. The holographic systems were still functional. Roth accessed the files, and suddenly a figure appeared before them. The being was bipedal, standing roughly 2 meters tall. Its skin was a dark brown color, hairless except for the top of its head. It wore a uniform marked with insignia and had 2 forward-facing eyes that seemed to look directly at them across 2 centuries. "Captain's log, final entry," the being said. Its voice was deep and steady. "This is Captain David Reeves of the UESC Tenacity. We were ambushed 3 days ago by unknown hostiles. We've lost 23 crew members defending the ship. Hull integrity is at 40%. Our attackers withdrew, but they'll be back." The image of Captain Reeves looked tired but determined. "I've ordered the surviving crew into stasis. The ship's AI will handle repairs. It might take years, maybe decades, but Earth will find us. They always find our people. We just have to survive long enough." The hologram flickered. "To whoever finds this, we're human, we're from Earth. We were carrying the seeds of a new colony world. If we're dead when you find us, please let our families know we tried. If we're in stasis, wake us carefully. We'll owe you a debt." The image faded. "Stasis," Pella whispered. "Roth, scan for active stasis systems." The engineer's claws flew across his portable console. His eyes widened. "Stasis Bay, Deck 7, reading 47 active pods. They're alive. After all this time, they're actually alive." Oren looked at his crew. He saw fear in their eyes, but also something else. Curiosity, wonder. These were Deathworlders, species from the harshest environment classification known to galactic science, and they were just sleeping, waiting for rescue that never came. "We wake one," Oren decided. "Just one to assess the situation." "Captain, that's kidnapping under galactic law," Pella protested. "They're salvage under that same law," Oren countered. "Besides, imagine what the Galactic Council would pay for a living Deathworld species. We could name our price." They made their way to the stasis bay. 47 pods lined the walls, each one glowing with a soft blue light. Names were etched on each pod in the human language. Oren studied them, trying to pronounce the strange syllables. "This one," he said finally, pointing to a pod marked with the name Dr. Nina Cross and the designation xenobiologist. "A scientist, less likely to be aggressive than a soldier." Roth interfaced with the pod controls. "Revival sequence is automated. Once I start it, we can't stop it." "Do it," Oren commanded. The pod began to hum. The blue light intensified, then slowly faded to white. Inside, they could see the human stirring. Her eyes opened slowly, unfocused at first, then sharpening with awareness. The pod door hissed open. Nina Cross sat up slowly, her movements weak from centuries of stasis. She looked at them with those strange, forward-facing eyes, and Orin realized with a chill that those eyes had evolved to track prey. "Where am I?" the human spoke, and her translator implant converted the words into galactic standard. Her voice was hoarse, confused, but underneath there was something else. Something that made every instinct in Orin's body scream danger. "You're safe," Pella said gently, moving forward. "You've been in stasis for a very long time. We're here to help." Nina looked at each of them in turn. "You're not human, you're alien species." "Yes," Pella confirmed. "My name is Pella. This is Captain Orin, Roth, and Lina. We found your ship drifting in." "How long," Nina interrupted, "how long was I sleeping?" Orin clicked his mandibles. "Based on stellar drift calculations, approximately 200 years. He watched the human process. "This information." Her face went through several expressions, each one a window into a mind dealing with incomprehensible loss. Finally, she spoke again, her voice barely above a whisper. "Did Earth send anyone? Is there a rescue fleet nearby?" "We don't know what Earth is," Lina said softly. "There's no record of humans in any galactic database. We've never heard of your species before today." Nina looked down at her hands. They were shaking. When she looked up again, there were tears in her eyes, but her voice was steady. "Then I'm alone. We're all alone." "Not exactly," Orin said. He had been calculating profit margins, but seeing the humans' distress made him reconsider his approach. "There are 46 others in stasis with you. Your crew survived." For a moment, hope flickered across Nina's face. Then suspicion replaced it. "Why did you wake me? Who are you really? And what do you want with my ship?" Silence stretched through the stasis bay. Nina waited for an answer, her eyes moving between each alien with the careful attention of someone assessing threats. Despite her weakened state, there was intelligence in her gaze that made Orin uncomfortable. "We're salvagers," he admitted. "Your vessel triggered our beacon. Under galactic law, abandoned ships can be claimed by those who find them." "Abandoned?" Nina's voice carried an edge now. "Did that look abandoned to you? Active power systems, maintained life support, functioning stasis pods. Someone clearly intended to return." 200 years is a long time," Roth said. "No species keeps search parties active for 2 centuries. Nina pushed herself out of the stasis pod, movement still unsteady. Pella moved to help her, but the human waved her off. "I can manage." What happened next shocked everyone in the room. Nina stood fully upright, took 3 steps without support, and only then gripped a nearby rail for balance. She had just emerged from 2 centuries of induced hibernation and was already walking. "Incredible recovery time," Pella breathed. "Most species need days of rehabilitation after long-term stasis." "I feel like I've been hit by a transport shuttle," Nina said, but she was already testing her range of motion. "Where's the medical bay? I need to check my vitals." "We haven't explored that section yet," Lina offered. "I'll show you." Nina started walking, still holding the rail but moving with increasing confidence. "Follow me. Medical is always near stasis on UESC vessels." Orin exchanged glances with his crew. They followed. Nina led them through corridors she navigated from memory, occasionally stopping to read the human language on directional signs. The medical bay was 3 decks down, and by the time they arrived, she was walking almost normally. The room was large, equipped with machines none of them recognized. Nina moved to a diagnostic station and began activating systems with practiced ease. "You're adapting quickly," Pella observed. 200 years, Nina said as scanners hummed to life around her. "I keep thinking about it. Everyone I knew is dead. My family, my friends, my colleagues at the university. The world I left behind is ancient history now." "I'm sorry," Lina said quietly. Nina looked at the young alien and something in her expression softened. "Thank you, that actually helps." She turned back to the diagnostic display. "My vitals are stable, blood chemistry is normalizing, muscle density is acceptable. I'll be at full capacity in a few hours." "How is that possible?" Roth demanded. "Stasis degrades muscle tissue. You should need weeks of physical therapy." Earth has higher gravity than most worlds, Nina explained. We evolved with stronger skeletal and muscular systems. Our medicine compensates for stasis effects. She paused, studying the readout more carefully. Wait, what's the gravity on this ship right now? 1.2 standard, Orin replied. That's barely above Earth normal. What's standard gravity for galactic species? 0.8 to 0.9 for most, Pella answered. Nina's eyes widened. You've been walking around in 20% higher gravity this whole time. We're wearing support harnesses, Lina explained. Without them, we'd collapse in minutes. The human looked at them with new understanding. The galaxy is lighter than Earth. Your species evolved on gentler worlds. Not gentler, Roth corrected. Normal, your world is classified as Class-15 Deathworld, the highest threat designation in galactic science. Deathworld, Nina repeated. That seems dramatic. Earth has challenges, but we manage. Your atmospheric oxygen content is toxic to most species, Pella said. Your temperature ranges are lethal. Your native predators would be classified as extinction-level threats on any standard world. Earth's evolutionary pressures created one of the most dangerous biospheres known to galactic science. Nina processed this slowly. We always knew Earth was tough, but we thought that was normal. We thought every species had to struggle to survive. Only those from Deathworlds, Orin said. And there are only 3 Class-15 worlds in galactic records. All are quarantined because nothing survives there long enough to develop space travel. Until humans, Nina said quietly. Until humans, Pella confirmed. Nina leaned against the medical console, and for a moment she looked lost. Then she straightened and her expression hardened. You said you're salvagers. What exactly do you plan to do with this ship, with us? Orin knew this moment would come. There are options. We could return you to your home world if you can provide coordinates, or we could negotiate compensation for rescue services. Or, Nina pressed. Or we could bring you to the Galactic Council, Orin admitted. A living Deathworld species would be valuable for scientific study. They would pay substantial compensation. You mean sell us? Nina said flatly. I mean offer you to people who could help you integrate into galactic society, Orin countered. You're alone out here. You need allies. The Council could provide protection, resources, help you find your home world. While studying us like laboratory specimens. While learning about you, yes. Is that so terrible? You're xenobiologist. Don't you want to study other species? Nina smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. The difference is consent. I chose my profession. You're talking about making that choice for my entire crew. We saved your life, Roth said. You'd still be sleeping if we hadn't found you. You also boarded my ship without permission and are discussing its future without consulting its crew. That's called piracy where I come from. The tension in the room spiked. Orin's mandibles clicked rapidly. We're trying to help you. Then help by waking my crew and letting us make our own decisions. All of them? Orin asked. Including the military personnel? I saw the pod designations. You have security officers, Marines, combat engineers. You saw we were armed and you woke me anyway, Nina pointed out. Seems like you already took that risk. We woke one scientist. That's different from waking trained soldiers. Nina studied him carefully. You're afraid of us. We're cautious, Orin corrected. Because we're from a death world. Because you think we're dangerous. Aren't you? Roth challenged. Nina was quiet for a moment. Let me tell you about Earth. Yes, we have predators. We have extreme weather, volcanic activity, seismic instability. We evolved in an environment that constantly tried to kill us. But you know what else we developed? She gestured around the medical bay. We developed medicine to heal each other. We developed agriculture to feed each other. We developed art, music, philosophy to enrich each other's lives. We reached for the stars not because we wanted to conquer them, but because we wanted to see what was out there. Pretty words, Orin said, but the UESC tenacity carries weapons, military-grade weapons. Of course it does. The galaxy is dangerous, but notice what happened when we were attacked 200 years ago. Captain Reeves could have fled, could have abandoned the civilian crew and saved himself. Instead, he and 23 others died protecting people in stasis. That's what humans do. We protect our own. And others? Pella asked softly. Would you protect others or just your own species? Nina looked at the aquatic alien for a long moment. I don't know. We've never met another species before. We've wondered for centuries if we were alone in the universe. Now I wake up to find the galaxy is full of life, and the first thing that happens is debate about whether to sell us. She moved toward the door. I'm going back to the stasis bay. I'm waking my crew. You can help or you can leave, but this is our ship and we're taking it back. You can't, Orin said. You don't know galactic salvage laws. You don't have legal standing. I don't care about your laws, Nina said simply. They weren't written with humans in mind. We'll write our own. That's not how it works, Roth argued. Then we'll change how it works. Nina was already walking away. You have 10 minutes to decide. Help us wake our people or get off our ship. After she left, Orin looked at his crew. Opinions. We should let them wake everyone, Pella said immediately. It's the right thing to do. The right thing doesn't pay our debts, Orin countered. Neither does a war with Deathworlders, Roth pointed out. If even half of what I've read about Class-15 species is true, we don't want to make enemies of these humans. Lina spoke up hesitantly. Captain, did you notice something? She's been awake less than an hour and she's already giving orders, already making decisions, already moving like she owns this ship. Because she does, Pella said. No, Lina continued. I mean the confidence, the certainty. Most species would be terrified in her situation. Alone, surrounded by aliens, everything they knew gone, but she's not afraid, she's angry. What's your point? Orin asked. My point is that humans evolved on a world where fear gets you killed, so they learn not to be afraid. They learn to adapt, to fight, to win. Lina looked at her captain. We woke a predator species. We should probably not make them our enemies. Orin clicked his mandibles in thought. The young Mendar was right. They had two choices, ally with the humans or oppose them. And opposing a species from a Class-15 Deathworld seemed like a spectacularly bad idea. Fine, he said finally. We help them wake their crew, but we negotiate terms. Rescue services aren't free. They owe us compensation. I'll tell Nina, Pella volunteered. No, Orin said. I will. This is my ship, my crew, my responsibility. He found Nina already at work in the stasis bay, studying the control panel. She looked up as he approached. Well, she asked. We'll help, Orin said, but we need to establish terms. Rescue services, use of our equipment, legal representation with the Galactic Council. These things have value. Nina nodded slowly. Fair enough. Wake my crew first. Then we'll talk about compensation. But I warn you, once Security Chief Ramon Silva wakes up, negotiations might get complicated. Why? Orin asked. Because Ramon doesn't believe in compromise when it comes to human sovereignty. And after 200 years in stasis, he's going to have strong opinions about aliens claiming our ship. Orin felt a chill run through his exoskeleton. Maybe we should establish terms before we wake him. Nina smiled, and this time it was genuine. Good idea. Let's see if we can be friends before we wake the people trained to identify threats. For the first time since finding the derelict vessel, Orin wondered if he'd made a terrible mistake. But it was too late to turn back now. The humans were waking up, and the galaxy was about to meet Earth. Nina agreed to wake 3 more crew members first, Ramon Silva, Yuki Tanaka, and Pavel Volkov. She explained their roles while Orin's crew watched. Nervously, Ramon was head of security for the colony mission. Former military, served in Earth's defense fleet for 15 years. Yuki was a Marine assigned to protect the civilian colonists. Pavel is our best engineer, specializes in emergency repairs and combat systems. You're waking your military personnel first, Roth observed. I'm waking the people who can help me understand our situation, Nina corrected. Ramon for security assessment, Yuki for threat evaluation, Pavel to tell me if this ship can actually fly again. And the others? Oren asked. Once we establish we're safe, we wake everyone. Families, children, civilians. But first I need to know we can protect them. The first pod began its revival sequence. Through the transparent lid, they watched a man with dark skin and gray-touched hair begin to stir. His eyes opened, sharp and alert despite 2 centuries of sleep. Ramon sat up smoothly, his movements controlled and precise. He took in the scene with a single sweep of his eyes. Nina, 4 aliens, stasis bay. His hand moved automatically to his hip, finding no weapon there. Nina, he said, his voice rough but steady. Report. 200 years in stasis. Ship was found by alien salvagers. Earth never came for us. These are Harakin, Dravine, and Mendar species. They're part of a galactic community we never knew existed. Ramon absorbed this in seconds. He looked at each alien, assessing them with the eyes of someone trained to identify threats. Then he looked back at Nina. Captain Reeves. Dead, him and 23 others. They fought off attackers and put us in stasis before they died. Something passed across Ramon's face, grief and respect mixed together. He was a good man. The best, Nina agreed. Ramon stood, testing his balance. Unlike Nina, he showed no weakness. His movements were those of someone ready to fight if necessary. These salvagers, are they friendly? We're negotiating, Nina said carefully. That means no. Ramon turned to Oren. You claimed our ship under your laws. We don't recognize those laws, but we're willing to discuss compensation for your assistance in waking us. Does that seem reasonable? The directness surprised Oren. Yes, that seems reasonable. Good, wake the others. The next pod opened to reveal Yuki, a woman with East Asian features and scars that spoke of combat experience. She processed the situation even faster. Then Ramon, immediately moving to his side. Security chief, she acknowledged. Orders. Stand down. Situation is complicated but non-hostile. Currently negotiating with salvage crew who found us. Understood, sir. Pavel emerged last, a broad-shouldered man with oil-stained hands and an engineer's thoughtful expression. His first words were about the ship. Hull integrity status. Unknown, Nina replied. We haven't completed full assessment. Then that's priority 1. Can't protect anyone if the ship falls apart around us. He looked at Roth. You're an engineer. Roth nodded cautiously. Good, let's go look at my ship. You can tell me what you found. Just like that, Pavel headed for the door, expecting Roth to follow. The reptilian engineer looked at Oren, who nodded. They left together, already discussing technical specifications. I like him, Lina whispered. Ramon began asking detailed questions about the ship's condition, the surrounding space, and the political situation in the galaxy. His military training showed in how he organized information, identifying threats and opportunities. So we're unknown to your galactic community, Ramon summarized. No records of Earth or humans, that gives us certain advantages. Like what? Oren asked. Like you can't classify us, can't put us in your standard categories, can't predict what we'll do based on your experience with other species. Ramon's expression was unreadable. We're an unknown variable, that makes us dangerous. Or valuable, Oren countered. Also true, which is why we need to establish rules now before anyone else finds us. Pella spoke up. What kind of rules? First rule, humans decide human fate. No one sells us, studies us, or makes decisions about our future without our explicit consent. Ramon's voice was firm but not aggressive. Second rule, this ship and everyone on it remains under human authority. We'll cooperate with your galactic community, but we won't surrender sovereignty. That's going to be difficult to enforce, Oren said. You're 47 people on one damaged ship. The galactic community has trillions of beings across thousands of worlds. Numbers aren't everything, Yuki said quietly. Strategy matters, determination matters, willingness to defend what's yours matters. Nina interjected. What Ramon is saying less diplomatically is that humans aren't looking for a fight, but we won't be pushed around either. You're really not afraid of us, are you? Lina asked with genuine curiosity. 4 different species, unknown technology, superior numbers. None of that concerns you. Ramon considered this. Fear is a tool. Use it right, it keeps you alive. Use it wrong, it paralyses you. We choose to be cautious but not afraid. Besides, Yuki added, Earth taught us that the universe doesn't care about fear. Predators don't stop hunting because you're scared. Storms don't go around you because you're frightened. So we learn to adapt, to think, to fight smarter rather than let fear control us. That's the Deathworld philosophy, Pella said. Overcome or die. Is that what you call our world? A Deathworld? Nina asked. Class-15 specifically, the highest danger classification. Ramon laughed, surprising everyone. Earth is dangerous, compared to what exactly? Compared to every other known world, Orin explained. Your gravity, your atmospheric composition, your temperature extremes, your evolutionary pressures, everything about Earth is hostile to life. Hostile to your life, maybe, Ramon said. To us, it's home, it's normal. You're telling me most species evolved on easier worlds. Much easier, Pella confirmed. Then you're at a disadvantage, Ramon said simply. You never had to push your limits, never had to overcome impossible odds just to survive another day. That makes you soft. That's insulting, Roth said, returning with Pavel. Both engineers looked frustrated about something. It's observational, Ramon corrected. Not an insult, just reality. Humans evolved in hell. That made us different, made us harder, made us creative about survival. Pavel jumped in. Speaking of survival, this ship is a mess. 40% hull integrity, multiple system failures, engines barely functional. But it's repairable. With Roth's help and galactic technology, we could have it operational in 6 months. 6 months, Orin exclaimed. Our ship needs to move on. We have other salvage contracts. Then go, Ramon said simply. Leave us your repair equipment as payment for salvage claim. We'll manage. You'll die, Orin protested. This sector has raiders, hostile species, environmental hazards. You can't defend yourselves in a damaged ship. Watch us, Yuki said. Nina stepped between them. Let's all calm down. Nobody's dying today. We're going to find a solution. That works for everyone. I have a proposal, Pella suggested. We stay and help with repairs. In exchange, you help us understand human technology and culture. When repairs are complete, we escort you to the nearest neutral station where you can establish formal contact with the Galactic Council. Why would you help us? Ramon asked suspiciously. Because making allies is smarter than making enemies, Pella said, and because I think humans could teach the galaxy important lessons. Like what? Orin demanded. Like how to survive when everything seems impossible, like how to keep fighting when hope is gone, like how to protect each other even at cost of your own life. Pella looked at Ramon. Captain Reeves and his crew proved that. They died so you could live. That kind of loyalty is rare in the galaxy. Ramon was quiet for a moment. All right, we accept your proposal, but we're waking everyone now. All 46 remaining crew, they deserve to know what's happened. Over the next 3 hours, the rest of the crew emerged from stasis. Families reunited, friends embraced. Everyone mourned Captain Reeves and the others who had sacrificed themselves. Nina watched it all with bittersweet emotions. These people were the last humans in this part of space. Maybe the last who remembered Earth as it was 200 years ago. They were orphans now, adrift in a galaxy that didn't know they existed. But they were also survivors. Every single person on this ship had been selected for the colony mission because they possessed skills, knowledge, and determination. They were the best Earth had to offer. A young girl approached Nina, maybe 7 years old when she'd gone into stasis. Dr. Cross, my mom says we're in the future. Is that true? Yes, sweetie, we slept for a very long time. Are there aliens? Yes, they're actually very nice. Want to meet one? The girl nodded shyly. Nina introduced her to Lina, who was closest in size to a human child. The Mendar engineer knelt down, speaking gently about her home world, her species, her job. Within minutes, more human children gathered around Lina, asking questions, touching her scales, marveling at her appearance. The young alien handled it with surprising grace, answering each question patiently. Orin watched this from across the room. Pella swam up beside him. They're adapting already, she observed. Too quickly, Orin said. Most species would be traumatized by this situation. Humans just accept it and move forward. That's what Deathworlders do. They don't have the luxury of breaking down. They adapt or they die. Are we making a mistake? Orin asked quietly. Helping them? Maybe, or maybe we're doing the smartest thing possible, making sure humanity's first impression of the galaxy is positive. Because if they decide we're enemies instead of friends, I don't think we'd like the consequences. Across the bay, Ramon was organizing his people, assigning duties, establishing routines. Even in the midst of crisis, humans were building structure, creating order from chaos. Nina joined him. How are you really doing? Honestly, I'm angry, I'm sad, I'm scared, but I can't show it. These people need leadership. Share the burden, that's what families do. Is that what we are now, a family? Nina looked around at the 46 survivors. We're all we have, so yes, we're family now. The intercom crackled. Pavel's voice came through. All crew, this is engineering. I have news, good and bad. Good news, ship's core systems are more intact than we thought. Bad news, long-range sensors just activated. They're picking up 6 vessels approaching our position, fast, armed, and their transponders identify them as Kraler raiders. Ramon's expression hardened. Time to intercept. 4 hours. Then we have 4 hours to decide if we're running or fighting. Ramon looked at Orin. Tell me about these Kraler everything. The combined crew gathered in what humans called the war room. Maps projected in holographic displays showed the approaching Kraler vessels. Orin explained what everyone needed to know. Kraler are raiders. They've operated in this sector for decades. They claim salvage by killing salvagers. No negotiations, no mercy. They'll destroy both our ships and either kill us or sell us as slaves. 6 vessels against a damaged colony ship and a small salvage craft, Ramon said, studying the tactical display. Not great odds. We should run, Lina suggested. Both ships, maximum speed, different directions. They'll chase the more valuable target, Roth said. That's the tenacity. They'll let us go and hunt the humans. Unless we fight, Yuki said. Fight with what? Orin demanded. Your ship is 40% operational. Our ship has mining lasers and light shields. Against 6 military vessels, we'd last maybe 5 minutes. Pavel leaned over the display, manipulating controls. Let's see what we actually have. Tenacity's weapon systems are still functional. 4 railgun batteries, 3 missile tubes, point defense grid. The problem is power. We can fire, but not for long. What's a railgun? Pella asked. Kinetic weapon. Uses electromagnetic acceleration to launch projectiles at extreme velocity. Simple physics, nothing fancy, but effective. That's primitive technology, Roth observed. Primitive works, Pavel said. Energy weapons are impressive, but they require massive power generation. Kinetic weapons just need ammunition and acceleration. In a damaged ship with limited power, I'll take reliable over impressive any day. Ramon was thinking, if we had more time, could we increase power generation? Not significantly. Main reactor is damaged. We're running on backups. What if we had help? Ramon looked at Orin. Your ship has a working reactor. Can we link our power grids? Theoretically, Orin said, but my ship would be defenseless during the connection. We'd be a target. You're already a target. At least this way you're a target that might survive. Ramon's logic was brutal but accurate. Orin made a decision. Pella, coordinate with Pavel, see if we can establish power transfer protocols. The next 3 hours were frantic. Engineers from both species worked together, finding creative solutions to incompatible technologies. Human ingenuity met galactic standardization, and somehow they made it work. Nina helped coordinate crew assignments. Civilians to safe areas, military personnel to weapon stations, medical staff preparing for casualties, children secured in the deepest, most protected sections of the ship. One mother refused to leave her child. "I won't abandon her." "You're not abandoning anyone," Nina said gently. "You're making sure someone survives to take care of her if things go badly. That's what parents do." The woman understood. She kissed her daughter and went to her assigned station. Yuki found Ramon in the armory checking weapons that hadn't been fired in 2 centuries. "You know we might all die, right?" "Yes, I know." "And you're okay with that?" Ramon looked at the Marine. "I'm okay with dying for something that matters. These people matter. This ship matters. Our first contact with a galactic community matters. If we run now, we set a precedent. We tell the galaxy that humans flee from threats. And if we fight, we tell them something different. We tell them humans protect what's theirs, that we stand our ground, that we don't surrender to bullies." Ramon loaded his weapon. "That message is worth dying for." "Good," Yuki said, "because I wasn't planning on running anyway." On the bridge, Orin watched as his crew prepared for battle. Lina was crying quietly, trying to hide it. Roth was praying to ancestors he claimed not to believe in. Pella was calm, resigned to whatever came next. "Why are you doing this?" Orin asked her. "You could have left, taken our ship and escaped." "And left you here? Left the humans? No." Pella's fins rippled with determination. "I've lived my whole life safely, cautiously, never taking risks, never standing for anything. Maybe that's fine for most people, but not today. Today I choose to stand with beings who refuse to quit. Maybe that's stupid. Maybe it gets me killed, but at least I'll die mattering." "You always mattered," Orin said quietly. "Not like this, not for something bigger than myself." The Krayler vessels dropped out of FTL in attack formation. 6 sleek warships, each bristling with weapons. They had decades of raiding experience. They had superior technology. They had overwhelming force. What they didn't have was experience fighting humans. The lead Krayler captain, Varen, opened communications. His species resembled armored amphibians, all scales and sharp teeth. "Unknown vessels, you are trespassing in claimed territory. Surrender all salvage and personnel, and we will grant quick deaths." Ramon responded. "This is Security Chief Ramon Silver of the United Earth Space Command Vessel Tenacity. You are threatening human assets. Leave now or face consequences." Varen laughed. "Human? Never heard of you. Doesn't matter. Surrender or..." Ramon cut the transmission. "I'm done talking. Yuki, status on weapons." "Railguns charged, missiles loaded, point defense active." "Pavel power levels." "Thanks to Orin's ship, we're at 60% capacity, enough for a sustained fight." "Then let's show these raiders what humans do to bullies." The first Krayler vessel fired. Plasma weapons lit up space, splashing against Tenacity's armor. The ship shuddered but held. "Return fire," Ramon commanded. The railgun spoke. Tungsten slugs, each one massing several kilograms, accelerated to 5% of light speed. The first volley caught the Krayler by surprise. Their shields were designed for energy weapons. Against kinetic projectiles, the shields were useless. One raider took a direct hit. The slug punched through the hull like paper, venting atmosphere and sending the vessel spinning out of control. "One down," Yuki reported. 5 remaining. "They're scattering," Pavel observed, "trying to attack from multiple angles." "Smart," Ramon admitted. "They're adapting. Good, so are we." The battle became chaotic. Krayler vessels darted in and out, firing plasma weapons that scorched Tenacity's hull. Human railguns responded with precise, devastating counterfire. Each shot was calculated for maximum effect. Human combat doctrine emphasized efficiency over show. Section 7 is breached, Pavel reported, sealing bulkheads. Casualties? Ramon asked. None. That section was evacuated per protocol. Another Kraler vessel exploded as a missile found its reactor. 2 down, 4 to go. But Tenacity was taking damage. The ship had been damaged to start with, and now they were pushing it beyond safe limits. Warning alarms blared, systems failed. Life support became spotty in some sections. "We can't keep this up," Pavel said. "We're falling apart." "Then we make them pay for every second," Ramon said grimly. Oren watched from his ship, still connected via power transfer. He saw the humans fighting with a desperation and determination he'd never witnessed before. They weren't just defending a ship. They were defending their identity, their independence, their right to exist on their own terms. "Captain," Lina called out, "one of the Kraler vessels is breaking off. It's heading toward us." "Disconnect power transfer," Oren commanded. "Get us out of here." "If we disconnect, the humans lose power," Roth said. "Better than both of us dying." "No," Pella said firmly. "We stay connected, we stand with them." "That's suicide." "Maybe, but it's the right thing to do." Oren looked at his crew. They were terrified but determined. When had they become so brave? When had they started caring more about honor than survival? "Fine," he said. "We stay, but if we die, I'm haunting all of you." The approaching Kraler vessel opened fire on the smaller salvage ship. Energy weapons hammered the shields. Alarms screamed warnings. They were seconds from destruction. Then the Tenacity rotated, bringing its full broadside to bear. Every weapon fired at once. The Kraler vessel disappeared in a storm of tungsten and high explosives. 3 down, Yuki announced. 3 to go. But Tenacity paid the price. The rotation had stressed already damaged systems. Power failed in multiple sections. One railgun battery went offline. Missile tubes jammed. "We're losing this fight," Pavel said quietly. Ramon knew it was true. They'd hurt the raiders, but not enough. The remaining 3 Kraler vessels were being more careful now, staying at range, wearing them down with sustained fire. "Options?" Ramon asked. "We could surrender," Yuki suggested, though her tone made it clear she'd rather die. "Never." "We could abandon ship, take the escape pods, maybe some of us survive." "And leave everyone else to die?" "No." "Then we need a miracle." Nina's voice came over the intercom. "Ramon, I have an idea. It's crazy, but it might work." "I'm listening." "The Kraler are using energy weapons exclusively. Plasma, lasers, particle beams. They're designed for fighting ships with standard shielding." So we don't have standard shielding. We have armor. Dense, heavy, primitive armor designed to take physical impacts. Their weapons are effective but not optimized for what we have." "What's your point?" "My point is we're fighting the wrong battle. We're trying to shoot them from distance. But our strength isn't long-range precision. It's close-range durability." "You want to ram them?" Pavel asked incredulously. "Not exactly. I want to get close enough that they can't maneuver effectively. Close enough that our armor matters more than their shields. Close enough to make this a knife fight instead of a duel." Ramon thought about it. Crazy, reckless, completely against standard military doctrine. "Perfect." "Pavel, can the ship survive close-range combat?" "Hull might hold, maybe, no guarantees." "Yuki." "I love it. Let's get personal with these bastards." Ramon made his decision. "All crew brace for impact. We're changing tactics." The Tenacity burned its damaged engines, accelerating directly toward the nearest Kraler vessel. The raiders saw them coming and increased fire, trying to destroy the human ship before it could close distance. Plasma scorched armor. Lasers burned through outer hull layers. The Tenacity kept coming. At point-blank range, Ramon gave the order, "Fire everything." Railguns, missiles, point defense weapons, everything fired at once. At this distance, there was no missing. The Krayler vessel simply came apart, overwhelmed by kinetic fury. "4 down," Yuki said. 2 left. The remaining raiders broke and ran. They'd come expecting easy prey. Instead, they'd found something they'd never encountered before. A species that fought harder when cornered, that refused to quit even when beaten, that turned desperation into weapon. They'd found humans. Ramon let them go. Let them spread the word. Let them tell the galaxy what happens when you threaten Earth's children. In the sudden silence, damage reports came in. Tenacity was barely functional, but it was still intact, and everyone aboard was alive. Oren's voice came through. "That was the craziest thing I've ever seen." "Did it work?" Ramon asked. "You survived, I survived. I'd call that working." "Then thank you for staying, for helping, for standing with us." "What happens now?" Pella asked. Nina answered, "Now we repair, we heal, and we figure out how to introduce humanity to your galaxy properly." "After that fight," Lina said with awe, "I think the galaxy already knows." 3 weeks after the battle, both ships limped toward the nearest neutral station. Repairs had been makeshift but effective. The Tenacity wouldn't win any beauty contests, but it could fly and fight if needed. That was enough. During the journey, something unexpected happened. The humans and aliens stopped being 2 separate groups and became something more like a community. Children learned about different alien species from Lina. Engineers shared techniques and knowledge. Nina gave xenobiology lessons that fascinated everyone. Oren found Ramon on the observation deck one evening, staring at the stars. "Trouble sleeping?" the Hurricane captain asked. "Thinking about Earth, wondering if it's still there, if humans survived, if anyone remembers the colony missions we sent out." 200 years is a long time. For individuals, yes. For civilizations, it's nothing. Earth could still be thriving, could be gone, could be anything in between. Ramon looked at the alien captain. "You know what scares me most? Not finding it, searching forever and never knowing what happened to our home. The galaxy is vast, but with the resources of the Galactic Council, finding one planet is possible, especially if you have any navigational data. We have star charts from when we left, but 2 centuries of stellar drift makes them unreliable. Then we start with what we know and work backward. Science can accomplish remarkable things." Ramon smiled slightly. "You're a good person, Oren. I misjudged you initially. You thought I'd sell you to the highest bidder. To be fair, you considered it. True, but my crew reminded me that some things matter more than profit." Oren clicked his mandibles thoughtfully. "You've changed us, made us think about what we stand for." "That goes both ways. You showed us the galaxy isn't empty of kindness. That first contact could be friendship instead of conflict." They sat in comfortable silence, 2 beings from impossible different worlds, finding common ground. The neutral station called Unity Point hung in space like a small city. Hundreds of species lived and worked there, a crossroads of galactic commerce and diplomacy. As the 2 ships approached, they drew attention. The Tenacity's unusual design and battle damage raised questions. Station control hailed them. "Unknown vessel, transmit identification codes." "This is the UESC Tenacity," Nina responded. She'd been chosen as first speaker because of her diplomatic nature. "We're human, from the planet Earth. We're seeking permission to dock and establish formal contact with the Galactic Council." Silence, then, "Human, Earth. Those designations don't exist in our database." "We know, that's why we're here, to change that." More silence, then, "Stand by, we're contacting council representatives." An hour later, they were cleared to dock. The station administrator, a floating jellyfish-like being named Quilren, met them personally. His translator rendered his bioluminescent flashes into speech. "This is unprecedented. A completely unknown species arriving unannounced, claiming to be from a world we've never heard of. You understand how suspicious this appears." "We understand," Nina said. "But we're not invaders, we're not conquerors, we're explorers who got lost and are finally finding our way back to civilization." Your vessel shows extensive battle damage. We were attacked by Kraler raiders. We defended ourselves. 6 Kraler vessels engaged you. Only 2 escaped. How did a damaged colony ship defeat 4 military warships? We got creative, Ramon said simply. Quilren's colors flickered with what might have been amusement. I want to hear that story. But first, medical quarantine protocols. We need to ensure you're not carrying diseases dangerous to station population. The medical examination took 2 days. Nina worked with galactic doctors, explaining human biology, answering endless questions. Their physiology fascinated everyone. Your bone density is extraordinary, one doctor marveled, and your muscle fiber composition is unlike anything we've seen. Earth has high gravity, Nina explained. We evolved to be durable. Your immune system is aggressive. It attacks potential threats preemptively rather than waiting for confirmation of infection. Again, Earth, we faced countless pathogens. Our bodies learned to shoot first and ask questions later. You're from a Class-15 Deathworld, aren't you? So we've been told. The doctor, an insectoid being with compound eyes, studied her carefully. I've read theoretical papers about Deathworld species. They were thought to be impossible. Evolution shouldn't create beings capable of surviving such extreme conditions while also developing intelligence and civilization. Evolution doesn't care what should be possible, Nina said. It only cares what works. While the humans underwent medical examination, Oren and his crew gave testimony to council investigators. They described finding the tenacity, waking the humans, the Kraler attack, everything. You chose to help them rather than claim salvage rights, the investigator noted. Why? Because it was the right thing to do, Pella said, and because humans are worth knowing. Explain. They're different from any species I've met. They don't give up. They don't surrender, but they're not cruel. They had chances to kill us or enslave us. Instead, they worked with us, treated us as equals, even saved us during the battle when they could have let us die. The investigator noted this. You believe they should be welcomed into the galactic community. I believe the galaxy needs them, Pella said firmly, because they can teach us things we've forgotten, like courage, like loyalty, like standing for principles even when it's dangerous. After the medical clearance, the real negotiations began. The Galactic Council sent 3 representatives, Quilren for the station, Ambassador Threll for the council itself, and Scholar Myra for scientific assessment. They met in a neutral conference room, humans on one side, officials on the other. Ambassador Threll spoke first. Her species resembled upright walking birds with brilliant plumage. Let me be direct. Your arrival creates problems. You claim to be from an unregistered world. You possess technology outside normal developmental curves. You've demonstrated military capability against established threats. You represent an unknown variable in a galaxy that prefers predictability. You're saying we're not welcome, Ramon said. I'm saying you're complicated, but complications aren't necessarily bad. Threll preened her feathers, a nervous gesture. Tell me about Earth, everything. Nina spent 3 hours describing their home world. The oceans, the continents, the diverse biomes, the extreme weather, the dangerous predators, the constant environmental challenges, the civilizations that rose and fell, the slow march toward peace, cooperation, and eventually space travel. Scholar Myra, a crystalline being who communicated through refracted light, was fascinated. Your world should have prevented intelligent life from developing. The evolutionary pressures you describe would normally select for strength and survivability over intelligence. Humans got both, Nina said. Because on Earth, intelligence is survivability. The smartest humans lived, the ones who could adapt, who could think creatively, who could work together against threats. Evolution rewarded brains as much as brawn. Remarkable and terrifying. Why terrifying? Ramon asked. Because you combine the adaptability of intelligent species with the resilience of survival specialized species. That combination has never been seen before. Is that a problem? Yuki asked. Only if you're hostile, Threll said. Are you hostile, I mean? That depends, Ramon replied. Are you going to try to control us, restrict us, treat us as curiosities or threats? We're trying to determine the appropriate relationship between humanity and the galactic community. Then let me make it simple, Ramon leaned forward. Humans want to be partners, not subjects. We'll follow reasonable laws. We'll contribute to galactic society. We'll share our knowledge and learn from yours. But we won't surrender our sovereignty. We won't allow others to make decisions about our fate. And we won't tolerate being treated as lesser beings because we're newcomers. Those are significant demands for a species with 1 ship and 47 members, Threll pointed out. Numbers don't define worth, Nina said. You judge us by our principles, our capabilities, and our potential, not by our current population. Quilren's colors shifted. What about Earth? Do you intend to return, to bring your entire species into galactic space? If Earth still exists, yes. We'll return, we'll tell them about the galaxy, we'll help humanity take its place among the stars. Ramon's voice was firm. And if Earth is gone, we'll still represent humanity. We'll make sure our species is remembered properly. The officials exchanged glances, whatever that meant for their diverse anatomies. Finally, Threll spoke. We'll grant provisional recognition. Humanity will be acknowledged as a spacefaring species with rights and protections under galactic law. In exchange, you agree to follow Council regulations regarding trade, travel, and conflict resolution. We agree, Nina said. With one addition, help us find Earth. Give us access to navigational databases, stellar cartography, anything that might help us locate our home world. That could take years, Scholar Myra said. We've already waited 200. We can wait longer. Very well, we'll assign resources to the search. Threll stood, signaling the meeting's end. Welcome to the galactic community, humans. May your stay be peaceful and prosperous. As they left the conference room, Ramon pulled Nina aside. Do you think they'll really help us find Earth? I think they're curious enough to try, and scared enough to want to know where humanity comes from. Scared of us, of what we represent, proof that their understanding of possible life is incomplete, that there are things in the universe they haven't categorized yet. Nina smiled. We're their reminder that the galaxy still holds mysteries. That evening, the entire human crew gathered with Oren's team for a celebration. Food from multiple species, shared stories, laughter echoing through the Tenacity's repaired common area. Children played with alien technology while adults discussed philosophy and science. Linner approached Nina. Thank you. For what? For showing me that the galaxy is bigger than I thought. That there are beings out there who live differently, think differently, but are still worth knowing. You showed us the same thing, Nina said warmly. That not all aliens are threats, that friendship can cross species barriers. That kindness matters. Across the room, Ramon clinked glasses with Oren. The Hurricane's drinking vessel was specially designed for his anatomy, but the gesture was universal. To new friendships, Oren said. To new beginnings, Ramon added. They drank, two beings from impossible different worlds, bound together by shared experience and mutual respect. The party continued late into the station's night cycle. And far away, in the Council's astronomical division, computers began processing 200-year-old navigational data, searching for a small yellow star with a blue-green world third from the sun. Searching for Earth. 6 months passed. The search for Earth consumed computational resources across multiple star systems. Astronomers analyzed stellar drift patterns, working backward from the Tenacity's 200-year-old charts. It was delicate work, like finding a specific grain of sand on a beach by memory. During this time, humanity made its mark on Unity Point. The humans integrated into station life in ways no one expected. Their adaptability, honed by generations on a Deathworld, made them excellent problem solvers. When a coolant system failed in a section too hot for most species, human engineers volunteered. They worked in temperatures that would kill others, fixing problems that had seemed impossible. Ramon organized a security training program, sharing human tactical thinking with station guards. Yuki taught hand-to-hand combat techniques adapted for various species' anatomies. Pavel collaborated with alien engineers, finding solutions that combined human practicality with galactic sophistication. Nina became an unofficial ambassador, teaching xenobiology while learning about the incredible diversity of galactic life. She made friends across species boundaries, her genuine curiosity and warmth breaking down barriers. The human children attended station schools, learning galactic history and languages. They brought human games and stories, enriching the station's culture. Within months, kids from a dozen species were playing soccer and tag, learning that fun transcended biology. But beneath the integration, anticipation grew. Every day, Ramon checked with the astronomical division. Every day, the answer was the same, still searching. Until it wasn't. Scholar Myra contacted them directly. "We found something. It matches your parameters. Small yellow star, 8 planets third. Planet in the habitable zone. It's the right location based on stellar drift calculations." The entire crew gathered in the conference room. The holographic display showed a star system that could have been any of billions in the galaxy. But to the humans, it was everything. "That's it," Nina whispered. "That's Sol, that's our sun." "We can't confirm the planet is Earth without closer examination," Myra cautioned. "The distance is too great for detailed scans." "How far?" Ramon asked. "Approximately 80 light-years from here. With standard FTL drives, 3 weeks travel time." "When can we leave?" "That's complicated. The Council wants to send an official expedition. Multiple ships, full scientific team, diplomatic corps. They're proposing a 6-month preparation period." "6 months?" Yuki protested. "We've waited 200 years, now you want us to wait longer." "They want to make a good impression," Threll explained gently. "First contact with Earth is a significant event. It should be done properly." Ramon stood abruptly. "No, we're not waiting. We're not turning this into a spectacle. We're going home now." "The Tenacity isn't equipped for diplomatic missions," Quillen pointed out. "And frankly, after the repairs, it's barely stable enough for long-distance travel." "Then we'll make it work. We've made everything else work so far." The officials exchanged glances. Finally, Threll spoke. "What if we compromise, take your ship but accept a small escort? 2 Council vessels, minimal crew, purely for support and documentation. You lead the expedition, we just observe." Nina touched Ramon's arm. "That's reasonable. We could use the help if something goes wrong." Ramon was quiet for a moment, then nodded. "All right, but we leave in 3 days, no more delays." The next 3 days were chaotic. Supplies loaded, systems checked, crew prepared. Oren and his team volunteered to join the expedition. They'd started this journey together, they wanted to see it through. Pella explained it simply. "You're our friends, we don't let friends face the unknown alone." On departure day, the station gathered to see them off. Hundreds of beings from dozens of species, all watching as humans prepared to return to their origin world. Lina gave a speech, her young voice carrying across the docking bay. "We found the humans by accident. We thought they were salvage, something to sell. Instead, they taught us what it means to never surrender, what it means to protect each other, what it means to stand for something bigger than yourself. The galaxy is better because humans are part of it, and I'm better because I know them." The cheering that followed transcended species. It was universal. The journey to Sol took 18 days. The Tenacity traveled in formation with 2 Council escort vessels. Days blurred together in anticipation and nervousness. What would they find? A thriving civilization? Ruins? Nothing at all. Nina spent hours staring at the long-range scans, watching the small yellow star grow larger. So close. After so long, so close. On the 18th day, they entered the Sol system. Sensors immediately lit up with activity. "Multiple vessels detected," Pavel reported. Hundreds of them all around the system. Military configurations, civilian transports, orbital stations. This system is heavily populated. Life signs on the third planet, Nina said, her voice shaking. Billions of them, Earth is alive, humanity survived. Ramon's eyes filled with tears. The unshakable security chief who had held together for everyone else finally let his emotions show. We're home. As they approached Earth's orbit, they were hailed by a defense vessel. The voice that came through spoke English, but it was accented differently than they remembered. 200 years of linguistic drift. Unknown vessels, this is Earth Defense Coordination. Identify yourselves and state your purpose. Ramon responded. This is Security Chief Ramon Silva of the UESC Tenacity. We're a colony mission that left Earth 200 years ago. We're finally coming home. Silence, then, say again, did you say 200 years? Confirmed, we were attacked, went into stasis, only recently woke up. We're requesting permission to approach Earth. Stand by. Minutes passed. Then the defense coordinator came back, and this time his voice was different, emotional. Tenacity, you're showing as UESC 417 declared lost with all hands in 2224. You're on our memorial wall. You're listed as dead. We got better, Ramon said with a slight smile. Can you prove your identity? Nina took over. I'm Dr. Nina Cross, xenobiologist. My authorization code is Alpha 77 Beta 93. I was born in Vancouver, studied at Cambridge, and joined the colony program because I wanted to see new worlds. On board we have 47 crew members, including Security Chief Ramon Silva, Marine Yuki Tanaka, and Engineer Pavel Volkov. We're carrying genetic diversity samples, cultural archives, and 2 centuries worth of stories. And we're very tired of space. Please let us come home. Another pause, then. Confirmed authorization codes check out. Welcome home, Tenacity, welcome home. The approach to Earth took hours. As they drew closer, the planet filled their view screens. Blue oceans, green continents, white clouds. Unchanged in fundamental ways, yet clearly developed far beyond what they remembered. Orbital stations that dwarfed anything from their era. Ships that made the Tenacity look primitive. Earth didn't just survive, Pavel observed. It thrived. They were directed to an orbital station designated as First Contact Facility. As they docked, they could see through the viewports that thousands of people had gathered to witness their arrival. The airlock opened. Ramon stepped through first, his crew following. On the other side, a woman in an official uniform waited. She was elderly, with gray hair and kind eyes. Beside her stood what appeared to be government officials, military officers, and civilians. I'm Administrator Helen Vasquez, the woman said. On behalf of Earth and all humanity, welcome home. Thank you, Ramon said. It's good to be back. You've been gone a long time. A lot has changed. We noticed, but some things never change. Earth is still beautiful. Helen smiled. We have much to discuss. Your crew will need debriefing, medical attention, adjustment counseling. But first, there's someone who wants to meet you. She gestured, and a younger woman stepped forward. She had Nina's eyes. Dr. Cross, the young woman said hesitantly. I'm Isabel Cross. I'm your great-great-great-granddaughter. Nina's knees went weak. Pella and Lina caught her before she fell. My granddaughter, but how? You were 3 months pregnant when you went into stasis. The colony mission medical records showed it. After you were declared lost, your daughter Kate was born posthumously through genetic preservation. She grew up hearing stories about her mother, the explorer who died reaching for the stars. Our family has kept your memory alive for 6 generations. I have family, Nina whispered. I have descendants. I'm not alone. You were never alone, Isabel said, embracing her ancestor. We've been waiting for you. Similar scenes played out across the crew. Descendants meeting ancestors they'd only known through stories. Military honors for those who died 2 centuries ago. Tears and laughter and overwhelming emotion. Oren and his crew watched with their own tears. Pella spoke for all of them. This is what we fought for. This is why we stayed with them, because everyone deserves to come home. That evening, Earth's leaders hosted a reception. Humans from two different eras mixed with aliens who'd helped make the reunion possible. Speeches were made, honors awarded, promises exchanged. Ambassador Threll addressed the gathering. Today marks a new chapter in galactic history. Humanity has formally joined our community, bringing fresh perspectives and hard-won wisdom. The Tenacity's crew showed us that determination can overcome impossible odds, that loyalty transcends time, that the bonds we forge matter more than the obstacles we face. Ramon responded on behalf of his crew. 200 years ago, we left Earth to build a new world. We thought we were leaving something behind, but we were wrong. We were carrying Earth with us, in our hearts, in our principles, in our refusal to surrender. Whether on Earth or in the deepest space, humans remain human. We protect our own. We stand for what's right. We never give up. That's what Earth taught us. That's what we brought to the galaxy, and that's what we'll always be. The applause was thunderous. Later, Nina stood on an observation deck, looking down at Earth. Beside her stood Isabel, Pella, Lina, and Ramon. "What happens now?" Isabel asked. "Now we rebuild our lives," Nina said. "We learn about the last 2 centuries. We help bridge the gap between past and present, and we share our stories with anyone who will listen." "Both human and alien stories?" Lina asked. "All our stories, because we're not just humans anymore or just aliens. We're something new, a community that crosses species and time. That's worth celebrating." Ramon looked at his assembled friends and family. "Captain Reeves sacrificed himself so we could survive. The crew who died fighting protected us so we could live. They gave us this chance. We owe it to them to make it count." "Then let's make it count," Yuki said firmly. "Let's show the galaxy what humans and their allies can accomplish together." Far below, Earth turned slowly in the void, ancient and young. Simultaneously, changed and unchanged. Home to billions of humans who'd continued the species' story, and now home again to 47 who'd slept through history to rejoin their people. The Tenacity would eventually be placed in a museum, honored as the ship that bridged centuries and brought humanity to the stars. Its crew would become legends, their story told to children across multiple species.